G'day YouTube, QuietPenguin here, and welcome to the Deck Tech with the deck I'm calling the Molten Man. So I thought it was about time I brought you guys a brew of my own. It's been doing really well on ladder. I feel that it's really well situated right now, and I'm gonna just do a little try and do a bit of a quick deck tech on it. So I'm gonna start off with the reason it's called the Molten Man, and that is 2 copies of Molten Giant. So Molten Giant is really good when your opponent doesn't expect it. Out of handlock, I notice that they always expect it. They always play around it, and so it's kind of hard to get some use out of it sometimes, even though I recommend it's best to not play around it. But anyway, when you're playing a class like Paladin that doesn't typically play Molten Giant, and they're always just going face, and they don't expect it, this card is insane! It's like an 8/8 for free, and you can play 2 of them. So I've been having a ton of success with Molten Giant in this deck. It's really good in the format now because there's a ton of these crazy decks that are sort of trying to burst you down or get you down really quickly, and then sort of finish off the last few points of life with like burn or something. So if you can play out a Molten Giant and then heal straight back up with an antique heal bot, and then do something like Taunt with Sun Fury Protector or Coghammer, you are going to crush that game. So that's why I'm playing Molten Giant right now. I feel like it's pretty good. And then we're also playing a lot more late game, as you can notice, than a typical Paladin. We've also, in addition to like the Tyrion and the Dr. Boom, and some people play Sylvanas, some people don't, and the Lay on Hands, we've also got a copy of Sneed's Old Shredder. So this was another card that I was experimenting with a bit in handlock, and it was really good there. It really impressed me. And it's impressed me here too. It's a really difficult minion for control decks to deal with. And just the fact that it's super sticky, it's just a great minion, guys. I highly recommend it. So Tyrion's pretty standard. Lay on Hands is pretty standard. Dr. Boom's pretty standard. Sylvanas is just a pretty standard card in a lot of decks. It's really good. Sludge Belchers are pretty standard. Harrison Jones. So this deck can sort of generally, I found it could afford to play 1 or 2 tech cards. And so the tech cards that I wanted to play are one of Acolyte of Pain, just because it's fine early game and it should at least replace itself. Sometimes you get 2 cards out of it, and then it's really good. A Bomb Lobber, which is really amazing in the format right now. It's fantastic against decks like the Mech Mage, Hunter. It's decent against Rogue because they play stuff like Azure Drake. It's just a lot of value. Bomb Lobber is a ton of value in a card. So I've been really impressed with this guy. And then the last tech card that I've chosen to play is Harrison Jones. So you could play Kezan Mystic in this spot if you wanted to, but I really like Harrison Jones in the meta at the moment. Rogue is like running rampant. There's not a lot of Warrior, but there's a little bit of Paladin. But it's just, Rogue is everywhere right now. And I really like Harrison Jones, surprisingly, in the Rogue matchup. It's really good. So it helps to boost your percentages there in the Rogue matchup, which traditionally hasn't been too great for Paladin. I haven't had a lot of trouble with it yet with this deck list, and Harrison Jones is a big part of that. So then we're playing 2 copies of Antique Healbot to go with our Lay on Hands and the little bit of heal that you get from the True Silver Champions. And we're playing both of these because we're playing Molten Giant. So our strategy is a little bit different than most decks in that we want to go as low as we possibly can to get our cheap Molten Giants. And then we want to heal back up ASAP so we don't die. And so Antique Healbot's the best way to do that. And we're playing 2 copies of it. We're playing this over Guardian of Kings, which I'll just bring up in case you guys aren't familiar with it. Here he is, Guardian of Kings. We're playing Antique Healbot instead because it's 2 mana cheaper and it heals 2 more life. And cheapness and the amount of life is the reason we're playing this card. We don't really care about the stats too much. We've already got a ton of late game, a ton of bombs. We don't need it. Piloted Shredder's pretty standard cards, running rampant in the meta right now. Basically every deck seems to be playing it. And then we come to Consecration. So Consecration's a pretty standard card in Paladin. But we're teaming it up. We're going balls to the wall with this Paladin deck, and that we're also playing 2 copies of Wild Pyromancer and 2 copies of Equality. So this means that we have a ton of board clears, more than basically any other deck in the format right now. And it gives us a way to handle the aggressive starts from the crazy decks like Mech Mage, like Hunter, You can deal with the Violet Teacher turns from Rogue, or just when anyone gets out of hand. It's really good against the Quartermaster, Muster for Battle combo. Yeah, so we're playing a ton of board wipes. It means that we can just sort of sit back, take a ton of damage, wipe their board, play some Molten Giants, and attack phase. So I've been really, really happy. Wild Pyro and Equality in particular have exceeded my expectations. And Consecrations are pretty much a Paladin staple and just a really good card. True Silver Champion's pretty much a staple. Older Peacekeeper is a card you can take out of Paladin if you want to, but I've found it to be pretty decent. And it's a nice versatile answer to any big minions. So I've been pretty happy having it here. Acolyte of Pain I've already talked about. Coghammer and Sun Fury Protector are ways to give our late game cards taunt in case you don't draw the heal. And Coghammer in particular, besides being gold, guys, has been really, really impressive. Even just giving out a random Divine Shield and Taunt on a piloted Shredder, or even just a 3/3 like an Antique Healbot or a Bomb Lobber, is really, really solid, I've found. I haven't found having the extra weapon to be a deal at all. We're not playing the Muster for Battle, so we don't really face the problem of having too many weapons. This card has been really, really solid. Sun Fury Protector serves a similar purpose to Handlock, but we only need one because generally we don't always need the Taunt Giver, but it's a nice card to have. And then to round off the deck, guys, we've just got 2 copies of Shielded Minibot, simply because it's just the best turn 2 play you can have from a Paladin. And so that's basically the deck, guys. We don't have a ton of early game because generally against the aggressive decks we're aiming to turn for Wild Pyro plus Equality, as you'll see if you watch any of my videos against the aggressive decks. I'll tell you how to mulligan against them. So that's pretty much the deck, guys. I just want to go over really quickly why we're not playing the Quartermaster Muster for Battle combo. And the main reason for that is whenever I played Muster for Battle against the aggressive decks where it's meant to be really good, it sucked. So whenever I'd play it against Mech Mage, they would just Goblin Blast Mage it, and it would be gone. Whenever I played it against Hunter, it would be like Explosive Trap, or they'd just activate their Unleash the Hounds or something. So I wasn't super impressed with it there. It is a great card in general, and it's really good in the control matchups. And even though I was just talking about bad experiences there, it's really good against aggro as well. But I haven't missed it at all in this deck. I'd rather just spend the first few turns letting them overextend, wipe their board with one of our combos, and then start to play our sort of mid-rangey minions or our high-value stuff. And Quartermaster, while it was pretty good to go with it, I do miss the explosiveness of the combo a little bit. It just wasn't consistent enough. I really couldn't afford to play 2 copies in this deck because we've got so many tech cards like Bomb Lobber and Harrison Jones. So when I was playing it, I was only playing 1 Quartermaster, which made it even more inconsistent. And I just haven't missed it at all, guys. It's not necessary to play it in Paladin. Nothing is sacred. Remember that when you're brewing, guys. Feel free to take anything out, swap things around. That's how decks get better. That's how decks evolve. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to check out the link below. I'll put in a link in the next day or so of a big write-up for this for those of you who'd like a quick reference point, who don't want to watch the video again. And check out the games, guys. There's some pretty epic games with this deck. I think it's really, really good in the meta right now. So check it out. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.